got the money to keep pushing. We need to say no, we need to put our foot down, and we need to say enough is enough. We need we need to really look at, because we need electricity, right? Everyone's like, how are we gonna power things? We need to invest in a cross-Canada electricity grid. No more pipelines, that's just done. We need to ensure environmental checks and balances when we do anything, right? We need to consult with communities, both Indigenous and non-Indigenous, before we go ahead and do any work, and ensure that there is environmental assessments. These don't need to be drawn out super long. We can find ways to find efficiencies in these processes. And then last but not least is we need to deal with the effects of climate change. We are already facing them today. We've got, we need to ensure that we have proper infrastructure in place. We need flood mitigation. We need to ensure that we can battle the forest fires that are going to keep getting worse. And we need to ensure that there is support just for our communities across the country, and that there's actually emergency preparedness for what is coming. Thank you. No, I think it's just you.
There's only one person answering?
No,
I didn't get one of those.
Sorry.
Folks, Ontario, so one of the things I did when I was Minister of Finance was introduce cap and trade, industrial pricing system, which exempted Ontario from the carbon tax. The carbon tax was a federal backstop, so the provinces can do whatever they want. So Ontario joined with Quebec, California, the Western Climate Initiative, with some other US states, and we were netting $1.9 billion in revenue annually because of the work that you and I had done to decarbonize Ontario. That money was used dollar for dollar as an incentive program for the consumers to renovate their homes, buy electric vehicles, do a number of other great things. Now, the Conservative government came in provincially, they did away with that, and they took us back 10 years. Only now are they getting into EVs and other opportunities. I suggest to you that what Mark Carney is proposing is to do away with the consumer tax altogether, do away with any punitive measures at the pumps, and enable us to take advantage of the polluters that exist in this country that by law, in order to trade with other nations, have to have a carbon pricing system. So they're going to trade and do carbon tickets up top, and that's going to provide for the sources that we need for our country to reduce its emissions. More importantly, it's changing behavior of consumers by providing incentives. Not only that, we have now an opportunity to bring Canada together as one. Do away with the interprovincial barriers so that we can, in fact, do both. We are a superpower of energy. We are a large oil producer in Canada, and we'll continue to be. But that doesn't take away from our opportunity to do alternative sources of energy. Look at Saskatchewan, Manitoba. They're bragging about clean diesel. We're doing hydrogen. We're doing so many other initiatives to make us competitive on the world stage. And why? There's a pricing system for carbon. So they're looking for alternatives, and Canada's benefiting from it. We can do both. We must do both. We have to reduce our reliance on the United States to improve our trade routes with other parts of the world, take advantage of the resources and the minerals that exist in Canada for the benefit of Canadians. And we can do it with clean resources. One thing that I am very cautious about, and I caution you too, the Conservatives want to do away with Bill 69, which is an opportunity for us to work with Indigenous communities and environmental protection measures so that we can improve the corridor and expedite it over the period. We are going to have to do cross-country transmission of oil. We need to do the refinery in Sarnia and in New Brunswick. We need to make certain that we're able to export to other routes alongside other resources that we have available to us. Thank you. I didn't know I had that question.
Question 4. High immigration in the past few years has been a source of contention. What are your views on the right level of immigration? We've got Evelyn and Charles.
I have 2.
Go ahead. I'm 3.
Okay, immigration. Oh boy. I wish that this also had a black or white answer because it would make this so much easier for my first time talking about this. I'm honestly not even sure whether I can say whether there is a considered right level of immigration. I mean, just to be honest, like, this country is made up of immigrants, right? Like, we're all immigrants at the end of the day, and that's what's made this country as great as it is. So whether we should have more or less, I think there's not going to be a perfect answer, and it's become a very hot topic for a lot of people because of the fact that we look at, the fact that obviously we are going through an economic crisis and a housing crisis and all these things, and everything affects each other with overlap. So I do think that there does need to be a certain point where especially the federal and the provincial government have to work together to make sure that we can agree on a certain number of immigration that works for everyone, because right now I think they're out of line with each other, and there needs to be more discussion about that in many ways. And we've become maybe less hospitable towards immigrants of late, and that's fair because of all the issues that it's tied around. But I do think that if we are going to especially be prouder as Canadians, we need to equally embrace the fact that we're proud to be Canadians also because we are incredibly welcoming, and we do want to show people that this is a country where we can all live together. So I think if there was a better system for newcomers that made the process easier for people coming in, whether they are refugees or immigrants or whatever the reason that they come here, that if we had a better overall system in place that the federal government was helping to manage and finance and all that, that eventually we could find that good spot where we were able to have a target every year that we can meet it and there wouldn't be any issues because it would be handled properly.
So Evelyn said something that was very true. We are all immigrants. Unless you're Indigenous, we are all immigrants to this country. And this country needed immigrants in order to build it to where it is today, and we'll continue to have immigrants as we continue to grow. But we do need to right-size. Now, as a former Minister of Immigration for the province of Ontario, I came forward with a strategy paper, and I recommended it to the Harper government at the time, and Jason Kennedy, who was my cohort in the federal side. And I put a strategy paper alongside a number of experts in the community to put forward something that made sense in terms of immigration in Ontario. Because we were getting many immigrants that would trickle in from all other parts of Canada, and then we'd have to provide all the settlement and supports for it. So I put a paper together recommended by a number of advisors. 75% of immigrants to Canada should be economic immigrants. Skills, trade, money, ability to grow the economy. My father, my daughter's grandfather, came here in 1953. He fled a fascist regime in post-war Europe to find opportunity and freedom. We know what it means. Never, ever did he ever consider using social programs from this country. In fact, what he wanted to do is take opportunities that existed in this country to provide for learning. He always said there's room for everyone to compete and do business. There's room for everyone, especially to learn and recognize others in the community, especially children, to have that opportunity to grow. And lastly, he said there's room for everyone to help each other. This has been a problem of late. We have to right-size the quota and the amount. We should be around, it used to be about 400,000, 500,000 seems to be the right number, but it peaked because of some of the work that came our way. And we need infrastructure and services to accommodate them. But not those that come with experience and the ability to grow. They come here to invest, put money forward, create jobs. And we know a lot of them. A lot of them are yourselves. And that is what I think is most important as we go forward to ensure that we have 75% of immigrants that come to Canada be economic immigrants to grow our economy so we can all prosper together.
So the federal government has been trying to get bigger grocery chains to agree to a code of conduct to help bring food prices down. What solutions do you propose to help regular Canadians with escalating costs of living? We have Mary and Charles.
Thank you. Yeah, the cost of living is off the charts, right? I think we can all agree. We keep working harder, like